You obviously spent a lot of time in New England, and Bill Belichick and Kraft have been on the same page for a long time, obviously. Hey, Bill's going to do his thing. I'm going to do my thing. Bill's going to win. I'm going to build up this entire place around it. Yep. We're going to have Patriot Place. We're going to have hotels. We're going to have a casino. Right. This brand is going to be the biggest on earth. Bill Belichick's getting the power to kind of do whatever. You've been on the show a couple times this season, and you have a very close relationship with the place. So I think anytime you say something, like it's obviously going to rain a little bit heavier, but you've been on the record saying, like, yeah, Bill's going to continue to coach no matter what happens. You saying that makes me believe that you think there is a chance he moves on from New England. Do you still feel that way with how bad they've looked and how bad they've gotten? Do you think he moves on? And how do you think Kraft delivers that news? And what do you think is next for Bill?
Well, I think it probably would be it'd have to come down to what, give Bill a Bill. Where do you see this team going, and how are you going to fix it? He deserves to answer that question, right? And based on the answers that he gives to Mr. Kraft, I think Kraft has to then make a decision. Or has Kraft lost trust in him to build that? I think that's the thing that you have to do. Look, a lot of these teams, we see it with the Houston Texans. We always tend to think teams are worse than they really are because the quarterback play is so bad. Houston was a disaster. How are they going to win any games? They finally get a quarterback, they do it. I think you're a quicker turnaround when you do get a quarterback and you can coach the quarterback correctly, kind of like what they're doing in Houston. So I think, look, Belichick is still coaching. I think he wants to coach. You can see the vibrancy in it. The team obviously isn't playing well. As Dietrich Wise said, they've got a good team. They have a bad record. They haven't been able to make plays. They've held two teams to 10 points in the last 2 weeks and couldn't win a game. Yep. I think that's kind of set a record. So I think he's going to want to keep doing it, and there's too many jobs. Let me ask you this, Pat. Okay. If you called Andy Reid up on the phone and said, Andy, who would be the last coach you want to have at Los Angeles Chargers coaching Justin Herbert? Who do you think he would say?
Bill Belichick.
That's right.
I played you there. I didn't know if that was the right answer.
I know the internet. Internet thinks he's a disaster and he can only win because of Brady. But I would say within the league, that is the sentiment. So if Mr. Kraft feels like that they need to have a divorce, that's fine. I'm sure that's happening. It's part of life. Things change. However, that's not going to change him being a really good coach and going somewhere else and proving that he could still coach. So if you ask any of these other teams in the league, who were they least likely to compete against? Ask the coaches. I think you'll get your answer. Everybody looks at it like, who's the popular choice? Who don't you want is the real answer.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of people figuring that out after they hire who they hire is who they don't want to hire.